chosen one, what I'm about to reveal to you will completely transform the way you understand your season of isolation, your period of invisibility, your time of being overlooked and underestimated, because right now, in this very moment, something is shifting in the spiritual realm that's so profound, so strategic, so absolutely intentional, that even the forces that tried to keep you buried are beginning to panic. You weren't forgotten. You weren't abandoned. You weren't passed over or left behind or somehow missed in the distribution of blessings and opportunities and divine favor. You were hidden, deliberately, strategically, divinely. And there's a massive difference between being forgotten and being hidden. Being forgotten means no one remembers you, no one thinks about you, no one has plans for you. But being hidden means someone is protecting you from forces that would destroy you before your time, preparing you for a mission that requires specific refinement, positioning you for an emergence so spectacular that the timing must be absolutely perfect, because premature exposure would have ruined everything God intended to do through your life, with your gifts for your generation. Tonight you're going to understand exactly why you had to be hidden when others were being celebrated, why you had to stay in obscurity when people less qualified were being promoted, why you had to remain in the wilderness when individuals with half your gifting were being given platforms and opportunities and recognition. You're going to see with crystal clarity that your hiddenness wasn't punishment but preparation, wasn't rejection but protection, wasn't evidence that God forgot about you but proof that heaven was preparing something so significant through you that it required you to be concealed until the perfect moment for your unveiling. The world is about to see why. Not because you've been campaigning for visibility, not because you've been hustling for recognition, not because you've been manipulating circumstances to manufacture attention. The world is about to see why, because divine timing has arrived, because heavenly schedule has reached the appointed moment, because cosmic calendar has hit the exact date for your emergence. And when you step into the light that heaven has prepared for you, when you emerge from the hiddenness that God orchestrated, when you manifest in the visibility that destiny demands, everyone who overlooked you will understand. Everyone who underestimated you will realize, everyone who dismissed you will recognize that you weren't hidden because you lacked value, but because you carried too much value to be exposed prematurely. Let me tell you something profound about the purpose of hiddenness, because understanding this will heal wounds you didn't even know you were carrying, will answer questions you've been afraid to ask, will bring peace to places that have been warring inside your soul. God hides what he treasures most, not what he values least, not what he considers disposable, what he treasures most. Think about that for a moment. When you have something precious, something valuable, something irreplaceable, you don't leave it out in the open where it can be damaged, stolen, destroyed. You hide it, you protect it, you guard it carefully until the moment when it's needed, when it's time, when circumstances align for its purpose to be fulfilled. You've been hidden because you're precious, because you're valuable, because you're irreplaceable. God looked at what you carry, what you represent, what you're destined to accomplish, and made the strategic decision that you needed to be concealed from public view, protected from premature exposure, shielded from attacks that would have come if you had been visible before you were ready to withstand the warfare that visibility brings. Your hiddenness wasn't about your inadequacy. It was about your significance. You weren't hidden because you weren't ready for the world. You were hidden because the world wasn't ready for you. There are gifts in you that would have been exploited if they had been revealed too early. There are callings on your life that would have been sabotaged if they had been made public before their appointed time. There are assignments in your future that would have been blocked if the enemy had known about them while you were still being prepared to execute them. So God hid you. Not from opportunity, but from opportunists. Not from destiny, but from destroyers. Not from your future, but from forces that wanted to eliminate your future before it could manifest. While you were hidden, strategic work was happening that couldn't have happened if you had been visible. Your character was being developed in ways that require privacy, that demand obscurity, that need the absence of an audience. You can't develop authentic character in front of cameras. You can't build genuine integrity under constant observation. You can't forge real humility while receiving public praise. The qualities you needed for the assignment ahead could only be developed in hiddenness, could only be cultivated in obscurity, could only be refined in the wilderness where no one was watching, no one was applauding, no one was validating your progress. You learned to obey God when obedience brought no recognition. You learned to serve when service earned no applause. You learned to work with excellence when no one was there to notice. You learned to maintain integrity when no one would have known if you compromised. You learned to stay faithful when faithfulness brought no visible reward. These lessons don't sound glamorous. They don't make inspiring social media posts. They don't create content that generates followers. But they create a foundation that can withstand the pressure of visibility, a character that can handle the weight of influence, an integrity that can survive the temptations of success. Most people want the platform before they develop the character to steward it. They want the visibility before they have the integrity to handle it. They want the influence before they possess the wisdom to wield it properly. And when they get what they want prematurely, it destroys them. The platform exposes their character flaws. The visibility reveals their lack of integrity. The influence amplifies their immaturity. They weren't ready for what they received, and what should have been a blessing becomes their downfall. What should have been their breakthrough becomes their breaking point. What should have been their elevation becomes their elimination. But you, chosen one, you were hidden so this wouldn't happen to you. God loved you too much to give you visibility before you had the character to sustain it. Heaven valued you too highly to grant you influence before you had the integrity to steward it properly. The universe cared about you too deeply to release you into recognition before you had the wisdom to navigate it without losing yourself. Your hiddenness was an act of divine love, a gesture of heavenly protection, a demonstration of cosmic care that you couldn't see at the time, but will recognize clearly when you look back from the position you're about to occupy. While you were hidden, deep healing was occurring that couldn't have happened in public view. Wounds from your past were being addressed. Trauma from your history was being processed. Brokenness from your experiences was being restored. This healing work requires privacy. It demands vulnerability. It needs the safety of obscurity where you can fall apart without an audience watching, where you can process pain without people judging, where you can work through trauma without critics commenting on your journey. Public healing is performative. Private healing is transformative. You needed transformative healing, not performative healing. You needed to actually deal with your wounds, not just talk about them for likes and shares. You needed to genuinely process your trauma, not just create content about your pain. You needed to truly work through your brokenness, not just build a brand around your struggle. This level of authentic healing could only happen in hiddenness, could only occur in obscurity, could only take place away from the spotlight where real work happens without the pressure of maintaining appearances for an audience. The person you were before your season of hiddenness couldn't have handled what's coming. That version of you wasn't ready for the level of responsibility about to be placed on your shoulders. That iteration of you wasn't prepared for the magnitude of influence about to be granted to your voice. That expression of you wasn't equipped for the weight of authority about to be released through your life. You needed to be transformed, and transformation of this depth requires hiddenness, demands obscurity, needs the pressure-free environment of wilderness where you can change without people holding you to who you used to be. People resist transformation, not intentionally, but they have an image of you in their minds, an expectation of who you are, a box they've placed you in based on who you've been. And when you try to transform while visible, their resistance becomes your obstacle. Their expectations become your limitation. Their boxes become your prison. They want you to stay who you were because that version is comfortable for them, familiar to them, non-threatening to them. Your transformation challenges their comfort, disrupts their familiarity, threatens their sense of control. So God hid you from their resistance, concealed you from their expectations, removed you from their boxes. In hiddenness, you were free to become who you needed to become without fighting their need for you to stay who you were. You could transform without their commentary. You could evolve without their criticism. You could change without their judgment. And now, when you emerge, you won't be asking their permission to be who you've become. You won't be seeking their approval for who you are now. You won't be requesting their validation for the transformation that occurred while you were hidden from their view. While you were hidden, divine connections were being arranged that couldn't have been made if you had been visible in the wrong circles. The people you're meant to collaborate with, the partners you're destined to build with, the allies who will stand with you in your assignment, they were being positioned, prepared, refined in their own seasons of hiddenness. You couldn't have met them prematurely because neither of you was ready for the level of synergy you're about to experience. You couldn't have connected too early because the timing would have been off, and what should have been a divine alignment would have become a premature attachment that wouldn't have survived the pressure of purpose. God was orchestrating introductions. Heaven was arranging intersections. The universe was coordinating divine appointments between people who were being prepared simultaneously in separate places for a convergence that would occur at exactly the right moment. You were hidden so you couldn't form the wrong connections, couldn't build the wrong partnerships, couldn't align with the wrong people who looked right at the time but would have become obstacles to your destiny, anchors holding you back from where you needed to go, weights preventing you from ascending to the level you're meant to occupy. Now, as you emerge from hiddenness, the right people are positioned to recognize you, ready to receive you, prepared to align with you. These aren't people who will need to be convinced of your value. They'll see it immediately. These aren't people who will require proof of your gifting. They'll recognize it instantly. These aren't people who will demand credentials before they trust you. They'll sense your authenticity without interrogation. Divine connections don't require lengthy job interviews. They happen with a knowing, with a recognition, with an instant awareness that this person is supposed to be in my life. This connection is divinely orchestrated. This relationship is heaven sent. While you were hidden, your gifts were being refined to a level of excellence that visibility would have prevented. When you're visible, there's pressure to produce constantly, to create consistently, to perform without pause. This pressure interferes with the deep work of refinement, the slow process of mastery, the patient journey of excellence. Your gifts needed time to mature, space to develop, freedom to grow without the demand for immediate production. Hiddenness provided that time, created that space, offered that freedom. You've been practicing in obscurity, honing your craft when no one was watching, developing your skills without an audience, perfecting your abilities away from the spotlight. This kind of practice is pure. It's not corrupted by the need to impress. It's not contaminated by the desire for applause. It's not compromised by the hunger for recognition. You are learning to do excellent work for the sake of excellence itself, not for the reward of recognition. You were developing the ability to create masterpieces whether anyone ever sees them or not. You are cultivating the discipline to pursue mastery even when no one notices or cares. This is the mindset that sustains long-term success. People who only work hard when someone is watching eventually burn out. People who only create when there's an audience eventually lose their passion. People who only pursue excellence when recognition is guaranteed eventually compromise their standards. But you learn to maintain excellence in hiddenness. You developed the capacity to create brilliance in obscurity. You cultivated the discipline to pursue mastery without applause. This foundation will carry you through decades of success because your excellence isn't dependent on external validation. Your creativity isn't fueled by public praise. Your mastery isn't motivated by recognition. Now, when you emerge with gifts refined to this level of excellence, with abilities developed to this degree of mastery, with talents honed to this standard of brilliance, the world won't be able to ignore you. They won't be able to overlook you. They won't be able to dismiss you. Your excellence will demand attention. Your mastery will command respect. Your brilliance will require recognition, not because you're seeking it, but because quality of this level creates its own gravity, generates its own momentum, produces its own platform. While you were hidden, the enemy's plans against you were being exposed and neutralized without you even knowing you were under attack. There were schemes designed to destroy you before you could fulfill your purpose. There were plots crafted to eliminate you before you could complete your assignment. There were attacks planned to remove you before you could execute your mission. But because you were hidden, these schemes couldn't find their target. Because you were concealed, these plots couldn't locate their mark. Because you were obscured, these attacks couldn't reach their intended victim. The enemy can't attack what he can't see, can't destroy what he can't find, can't eliminate what he can't locate. Your hiddenness was strategic protection against warfare that would have been devastating if you had been visible and vulnerable. Forces of darkness were looking for you. Agents of evil were searching for you. Powers of opposition were hunting for you. But God had you hidden in a place they couldn't access, concealed in a dimension they couldn't perceive, protected in a realm they couldn't penetrate. While they were searching, you were growing. While they were hunting, you were developing. While they were plotting, you were being prepared. And now, when you emerge, you won't be the vulnerable person they were looking for. You won't be the unprepared individual they were planning to attack. You won't be the immature believer they were scheming to destroy. You'll be someone who has been refined by hiddenness, strengthened by obscurity, fortified by wilderness. You'll emerge as a weapon they didn't expect, a force they're not prepared to face, a power they don't have the capacity to overcome. This is why the enemy is panicking right now. He thought he had eliminated you by isolating you. He believed he had destroyed you by keeping you obscure. He assumed he had defeated you by preventing your visibility. But he misunderstood what God was doing. What looked like your burial was actually your planting. What appeared to be your elimination was actually your preparation. What seemed like your defeat was actually your positioning. And now, as you begin to emerge, the enemy realizes his mistake. You weren't eliminated. You were hidden. And hidden things that are revealed at the right time have impact that visible things never achieve. Let's talk about what happens now, because you need to understand the significance of this moment, the importance of this season, the magnitude of what's about to unfold in your life. Your emergence isn't going to be gradual. It's not going to be slow. It's not going to be subtle. When God reveals what he's been hiding, the revelation is dramatic, the manifestation is undeniable, the demonstration is spectacular. You're not going to slowly climb into visibility. You're going to burst into recognition. You're not going to gradually build a platform. You're going to suddenly have access to stages you never applied to stand on. You're not going to incrementally grow an audience. You're going to rapidly attract people who are meant to hear your message. This is how divine revelation works. It's not methodical, it's miraculous, it's not systematic, it's supernatural, it's not predictable, it's powerful. When God pulls back the curtain on what he's been concealing, when heaven removes the veil from what it's been protecting, when the universe unveils what it's been guarding, the exposure is explosive, the revelation is remarkable, the manifestation is magnificent. People won't just notice you. They'll wonder how they never saw you before. They won't just recognize you. They'll question how they missed you earlier. They won't just acknowledge you. They'll realize you were always significant but somehow remained invisible until this appointed moment. Your emergence will answer questions people didn't know they were asking. Your appearance will solve problems people didn't know you could address. Your manifestation will meet needs people didn't know you were equipped to fulfill. This is the power of divine timing. When you emerge at heaven's appointed moment, everything aligns. The right doors open, the right people appear, the right opportunities manifest, the right resources flow, the right connections form. It's not forced, it's not manipulated, it's not manufactured, it's orchestrated by forces beyond human capacity, arranged by powers beyond earthly comprehension, coordinated by wisdom beyond mortal understanding. You're about to experience favor that makes no logical sense. Doors opening that you didn't knock on, invitations arriving that you didn't pursue, opportunities manifesting that you didn't apply for, resources flowing that you didn't work for, connections forming that you didn't network for. This isn't luck, this isn't coincidence, this isn't accident, this is divine favor operating at maximum intensity. Supernatural grace functioning at full capacity, cosmic blessing manifesting at complete power. When heaven reveals what it's been hiding, favor accompanies the revelation. Grace supports the emergence. Blessing backs the manifestation. People are going to ask you how you did it, how you went from obscurity to visibility so quickly, how you moved from hidden to recognized so rapidly, how you transitioned from unknown to influential so dramatically. And the truth is, you didn't do it. God did it. You didn't build it. Heaven orchestrated it. You didn't manufacture it. The universe arranged it. Your job during your hiddenness was to remain faithful, to stay obedient, to keep believing when nothing visible suggested your beliefs were accurate. Your job was to trust the process even when the process felt like punishment, to embrace the wilderness even when the wilderness felt like abandonment, to accept the obscurity even when the obscurity felt like rejection. You did your part. Now watch God do His. You remained faithful in hiddenness. Now witness divine faithfulness in your emergence. You trusted when you couldn't see. Now observe the manifestation of what you believed for when belief was all you had. You held on when letting go seemed logical. Now experience the reward of perseverance, the blessing of endurance, the breakthrough of refusing to quit when quitting would have made sense to everyone watching. The world is about to see why you were hidden. They're about to understand why you couldn't be visible earlier. They're about to recognize why your emergence had to wait for this specific moment. When they see what you carry, what you represent, what you're able to accomplish, what you're destined to impact, they'll understand. When they witness the level of gifting you possess, the depth of wisdom you embody, the breadth of authority you carry, they'll realize. When they experience the transformation your presence creates, the shift your message produces, the change your assignment generates, they'll acknowledge that you weren't hidden because you lacked value, but because you carried too much value to be carelessly exposed. Some people who overlooked you will feel regret. They'll wish they had recognized you earlier, treated you better, valued you more appropriately. This regret isn't your responsibility to manage. You're not emerging to make people feel bad about how they treated you during your hiddenness. You're emerging to fulfill purpose, to execute assignment, to complete mission. Their regret is between them and their conscience. Your focus is on the work ahead, the people waiting for your message, the assignment demanding your attention. Some people who underestimated you will feel shock. They'll be surprised by your emergence, astonished by your abilities, amazed by your impact. This shock isn't your concern to address. You're not emerging to prove anything to anyone. You're emerging because divine timing has arrived and heaven's schedule has reached the appointed moment for your revelation. Their shock is their problem to process. Your responsibility is to walk in humility while carrying authority, to remain grounded while stepping into visibility, to stay authentic while experiencing recognition. Some people who dismissed you will feel confusion. They'll wonder how you went from nothing to something so quickly, from nobody to somebody so dramatically, from invisible to influential so rapidly. This confusion isn't your burden to explain. You're not emerging to justify your journey to people who weren't part of it. You're emerging to fulfill destiny, and destiny doesn't require explanation to those who weren't meant to understand it. Their confusion is their lesson to learn. Your assignment is to embrace the season you're entering without being distracted by the opinions of people you're leaving behind. Here's something crucial you need to understand. Not everyone will celebrate your emergence. Some people were comfortable with you being hidden. Your obscurity made them feel superior. Your invisibility made them feel important. Your hiddenness made them feel secure. Your emergence threatens their comfort, challenges their superiority, disrupts their security. They preferred you hidden because your visibility highlights their mediocrity, exposes their insecurity, reveals their inadequacy. These people will resist your emergence. They'll question your qualifications, they'll criticize your character, they'll scrutinize your past, they'll search for reasons to discredit you, dismiss you, diminish you. This resistance isn't about you. It's about them. It's about their insecurity being triggered by your confidence. It's about their limitation being exposed by your expansion. It's about their stagnation being highlighted by your growth. Don't let their resistance slow your emergence. Don't allow their criticism to dim your light. Don't permit their scrutiny to make you shrink back into hiddenness. You were hidden for a reason. That reason is being revealed. The world is about to see why. And no amount of resistance from insecure people can stop what heaven has set in motion, prevent what God has ordained, block what the universe has arranged. Your emergence is inevitable. Your visibility is guaranteed. Your recognition is assured. Not because you're forcing it, but because divine timing has arrived, and when God says it's time, all the resistance in the world can't delay it, all the criticism on earth can't prevent it, all the opposition humans can muster can't stop it. Walk forward with confidence, with certainty, with absolute assurance that you were hidden for a reason, and now that reason is being revealed. You weren't forgotten. You were being prepared. You weren't abandoned. You were being protected. You weren't passed over. You were being positioned. And now, as you emerge from the hiddenness that refined you, developed you, transformed you, the world is about to see why. They're about to witness what was being prepared in secret. They're about to experience what was being developed in obscurity. They're about to encounter what was being refined in the wilderness. Your hiddenness is ending. Your emergence is beginning. Your visibility is manifesting, and the world will see why you were hidden. They'll understand why your emergence had to wait. They'll recognize why your revelation required this specific timing. Because what you carry is too important to have been exposed carelessly. What you represent is too significant to have been revealed prematurely. What you're destined to accomplish is too necessary to have been manifested before its appointed time. The season of hiddenness is over. The time of emergence has arrived. The moment of revelation is here. Step into your visibility with boldness. Embrace your recognition with humility. Accept your influence with wisdom. You were hidden for a reason. Now the world will see why, and nothing will ever be the same again. Your hiddenness was preparation. Your emergence is presentation. Your visibility is demonstration of everything God was doing while you were concealed from public view. This is your moment, chosen one. This is your season. This is your time. You were hidden for a reason. That reason is being revealed right now. The world is about to see why. Walk forward in the authority that was developed during your hiddenness. Move forward in the character that was refined in your obscurity. Step forward in the excellence that was cultivated in your wilderness. You were hidden for a reason. And now the world will see why.